Hello everybody, it's Abelo from Santa Capital. Today's date is the 24th of October, so we're going to be doing the top-down analysis of gold for the week of the 25th to the 29th. So what we see here, we see these horizontal lines here, which are very crucial, which will represent the very crucial prices of gold. It means where the market has reacted in the past. So today we're only going to be looking at this one, 1760, as well as 1825, 1820, 1825. So that's where we're only going to be focusing on, because the market is trading between those two levels, between those two prices. So when you go to the weekly time frame to see how the market has reacted in the past, we see that the market has been respecting this trend line here. You can say it's on the downtrend, but one could say the market is just moving sideways because it's moving just slightly down, but it's not really showing what's the it's not really moving. It's not the momentum of the downside is not so much. So when we see on this weekly time frame, we see a lot of, we see that the market in the previous weeks has been respecting this trend line here. It touched it once, that's all we see for now, but it's still trading below it. But when you come here to see this, we see that this is the low, the lowest of in a while. For this here, for the whole of this year, this is the low of gold on 1794 and 1790, 1775. Yeah, but we see after some time the gold came to retest this level again, but then it closed way above it. So now it's been trading above it. So you can say this is we're seeing now the lower highs of gold when you look at the weekly time frame, because this is here slightly higher than this, and we see here this is slightly higher than this again, than this one. So we can say we're seeing here the higher highs, the higher lows of gold in the weekly time frame. Excuse me on that. But what we see again here, we're seeing something very interesting, because if you draw a trend line, if you put this trend line here, around here, because there's a young trend line around here, not so strong, but it is strong. We're gonna use it here because now we want to see what the market is doing. And when we go on to, okay, this is the weekly, we see that the market, it went above this trend line and closed below it, which in turn tells us that we should be careful of what is happening around here. It's either these is showing us that the market was just testing that, now it's going back, so it's just failing to break this one, or it was just, we're gonna see, we can't really tell right now. Let's go to the smaller time frames, because when we see this, we could expect to see the market opening, going down to come around here to retest this level before going up, or the market will just go up. But let's see and what we see on the daily time frame, because the daily time frame will give us a clearer picture of what is happening around this point here. So what we see on the daily time frame now is let me enlarge this a bit because it's not easy to see what the market is doing here. So we are on the daily time frame now. What we see here, we see this a spike on the last day of the week. the market shot up, it went above the previous this high, this level here. It broke it, traded above it for a while, and came back and closed below. Which when you see here, we see this is a spike because the shadow of this is longer than the body. So that gives us another idea. It shows us something else, that it is either the market is failing to break this trend line that we drew on the weekly time frame, is showing to fail to break it. But then let's see again another thing. There's something that the market is showing us here. If we see these, if we draw a trend line here, one might ask, where is this trend line coming from? A trend line you see when you see a trend, and with time you see these things, how they go, because you see so this trend line here, when you see here, you see that the market came to touch it here and respected, came back. So if it comes back again, it came back again here, touch it and go back. So now it came, went about, broke it, traded above it, came back to close below it, which also gives us the idea that something is happening here. So what we see here, when the what are we expecting here? We're not going to be trading unless we see what's happening, because we're expecting gold to come down here. Then if it comes here, we place our buy trade. We're going to be looking at the long positions if it comes here. But if it breaks all the way, if it breaks this level, trading below the 1760, then we can, the market might go all the way to the 1714 here, 1710 around here. That's where the market will be targeting. But then for now, if we go to the weekly time, to the 4-hour time frame, to see what the market really, to see what really happened last week, to give us a clear picture of what for now what we see here, it is not clear what gold is doing. It is not clear unless we wait. We will have to wait and see how the market opens before we start trading. Otherwise, if we trade just like this, we'll be gambling with our money, and that's not what we want. We want to trade something that we are confident about, and having a clear mind of what is happening. Okay, what we see here, we see on this level, the market closed below. It went up on those in this horizon, this trend line. It went up, traded above, came back below. So what we see here, what we're expecting here, we're expecting something like this. The market to open like this. So yeah, or if it comes back here and fail to break this line, then we buy. But if it comes and break this line, then below this will be selling. For now we'll have to wait and see how the market opens, because then we will take it from there. Yeah, my laptop is just taking forever to draw. I want to draw this to see a clear picture of what is happening here. This is what we are expecting. If the market fails to break this, then we'll be looking at the long positions. That's it for me for now.